Okay, you guys remember the story of my Uncle Joe. He was a great guy. Everybody loved him, but he had this one problem, this one compulsion. He couldn't stop himself from cheating at cards. And he was a great guy, and they loved the guy, and that's why he got away with some of the most outrageous things at the card table. They would just put up with him because they simply liked him. Well, unfortunately, this behavior did, as I told you, did lead to his demise. And I'm going to tell you the story of the last hand he ever played. This was back in the days when everybody played draw poker. Everybody just got dealt 5 cards. He was playing a game in the back room of the barber shop with some of the boys. And he caught himself a good hand. So he bet. Somebody raised, he re-raised. They finally called and they said, "Joe, what do you got?" That's when the compulsion kicked in. He says, "Well, I got the 5 kings." They said, "Joe, you can't have 5 kings. That's cheating." He said, "Fine." He drew another card. A few hands down the road, he caught himself another good hand. He bet. Somebody raised, he re-raised. They called him. They said, "Joe, what do you got?" He says, I got the 5 kings." They said, "Joe, you can't have 5 kings. That's cheating." "Fine." Drew another card. Down the road a little bit, 4 or 5 hands down the road, same thing. He bet. They called. They couldn't believe it, but he did it again. He said, "I got the 5 kings." It was getting really old at this point, and they were starting to lose a lot of money. They said, "Joe, you can't have 5 kings. That's cheating." He said, "Fine." Drew another card. At this point, they're getting low on patience as well as money, and they finally said, "Joe, we're going to call you. And please tell us those are not the 5 kings." Well, even he was a little embarrassed, but the compulsion always won out. He says, "Well, I'm sorry, but I got the 5 kings." They said, "Joe, you can't have 5 kings. It's cheating." He said, "Fine." Drew another card. Well, they're getting down to it. It's very late. It's the last night of the hand. The last hand of the night, and they're pretty exasperated. And same situation. He bet. He had a good hand. They called, but this time was different. They said, "Joe, for your own health and safety, the better not be the 5 kings in your hand." He said, "I know, that's cheating. That's why I've got the 5 aces." And that's, my friends, when they shot him dead. And you know what his last words were? You wouldn't believe it. It was "fine." But the really, really sad part of the story was that if the man had just played the cards that he was dealt fairly, he would have done just fine. Because I don't think he could do much finer than a royal flush and spades. Talk about ironic, huh?